By Tender Touch, by King City Chevrolet Buick Geo, and by Century 21 Brokers of Southern Kentucky.
Once a year, the Kentucky Wildcats make the trip to Freedom Hall in Louisville. And tonight, Rick Pitino's matched up against one of his former pupils. Billy Donovan leads the Thundering Herd of Marshall against Kentucky. Hello, everybody. I'm Rob Bromley, along with me, Martin Newton. They were together at Providence College as player-coach, then together again briefly in the NBA, and then, of course, 5 years at the University of Kentucky working together. Now, Martin, they're on opposite sides of the bench, Rick Pitino and Billy Donovan.
Every time Rick Pitino looks in the mirror, he's got to see Billy Donovan. These two guys have been together a long time, Rob, and they really know what each other is all about. This will be an exciting matchup between pupil and teacher.
Well, Billy in his second season now with the Thundering Herd, and as you can see, last season he was Southern Conference Coach of the Year. These two teams played, Martin, in Rupp Arena last season, but this now is a much different basketball team than what Billy Donovan had a year ago. He's brought in a lot of transfer students. Among them is a guard by the name of Keith Veeney, and he can really fill it up.
Boy, Shanny Everin, has he got long-distance range. He can go out 25 feet and really shoot it. It's going to be up to the Wildcat guards to really find him in transition and make sure they know where he's at in the half-court offense.
Well, as far as Kentucky is concerned, this game marks a homecoming for one Derek Anderson. He went to Louisville Dawes, signed with Ohio State. Now he's down in Lexington playing with the Wildcats. And I'll tell you, he's got to be fired up about coming back into Freedom Hall.
Well, he really is. They tell me he took all the allotment of the players' tickets today. He's got a lot of family coming here. Look for Derek to put on a little showtime this evening in Freedom Hall.
All right, the first time in 3 years that Derek Anderson will have played right here on this Freedom Hall floor. We've got the starting lineups coming up in a moment, then the opening tip-off as Kentucky goes against the Thundering Herd of Marshall. And welcome back to Freedom Hall, where it's turned out to be kind of a cold, snowy December evening, but as always, they are packed in here shoulder to shoulder to watch the Kentucky Wildcats tonight taking on Marshall. Dick Gabriel will join us here courtside tonight. Let's go to him right now. Dick?
Thank you, Rob. A few minutes ago, I talked with John Pelfrey, one of Billy Donovan's assistants. He knows a little something about this building and this style of basketball. I said, did your players ask you for any insights about how to handle all this? He said, nah, they're numb. But they are happy with the start. They have won at UT Chattanooga already, so they're off to a good start. Rob?
Thank you, Dick. Marshall with a record of 4-2, and Kentucky in with a record of 5-1. Let's go now courtside with Doug Bruce and our Shoe Carnival starting lineups.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Freedom Hall for basketball action. Featuring the Thundering Herd of Marshall University and your University of Kentucky Wildcats. And now for the starting lineup. First for Marshall. At forward, a 6'7" junior from Alexandria, Kentucky, number 33, John Brannon. At center, a 6'8" sophomore from Miami, Florida, number 40, John Brown. At guard, a 6'5" junior from Lewisburg, West Virginia, number 50, Sidney Coles. At guard, a 6'1" junior from Seabrook, Maryland, number 52, Keith Veeney. And at guard, a 6'1" freshman from Bell, West Virginia, number 55, Jason Williams. And the head coach of the Herd, Billy Donovan.
Welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
For your University of Kentucky Wildcats. At forward, a 6'7" freshman from Nashville, Tennessee, number 33, Ron Mercer. And forward on 6'8" sophomore from Chicago, Illinois, number 24, Antoine Walker. Center on 6'10" senior from Washington, number 31, Mark Pope. Guard on 6'1" senior from Brownsville, Tennessee, Tony Delk. And it's guard on 6'2" junior from Lebanon, Kentucky, number 25, Anthony Ellis. And the coaching staff from Kentucky, Sean Brown, Winston Bennett, Delray Brooks, associate coach Jim O'Brien, and the head coach, Rick Pitino.
There are the lineups. The opening tip-off is coming up. Stay with us. And here at Freedom Hall in Louisville, we're set to go as Kentucky takes on the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Mark Pope will jump it up here against John Brown as you look at the man in his second season over in Huntington, Billy Donovan, and Rick Pitino on the other bench. Tonight coaching his 200th game as the head man of the Cats. And the tip will be controlled by the Thundering Herd, and right off the bat, Sidney Coles gets a lay-in.
Boy, that's not how you want players that just didn't get the basketball.
Antoine Walker can't get it, but Pope is right there for the putback. So we have some quick scoring in this one. Playing only about 18 or 19 seconds, it's tied 2-2. Marshall breaking the press, gets it into the front court.
Well, I talked to Billy Donovan earlier today at shoot-around, and one of the things he said they didn't want to do was get into a track meet with Kentucky. They'll look to break the pressure when they can, Rob, but then they're going to pull it back out and get into their half-court offense.
Rick Pitino describing Marshall as somewhat similar to Georgia Tech, the way they play and the offensive talent that they have. He said that Williams and Venny, and I'm speaking of Jason Williams, the fine freshman point guard that this club has, he said Williams and Venny can play for anybody.
Boy, they flat out can. Jason Williams is, you'll see him tonight. He's a great athlete. Doesn't look like a whole lot, but just watch him play.
Number 55, that's Jason Williams with the ball right now. Freshman out of Bell, West Virginia. On the drive. Almost traveled. Here's Vini now, guarded by Epps. And Coles, another shot. Bad, he banks it in.
We got to ask him if he called banks on that one.
He's got all 4 Marshall points here in the opening minute. 4-2, the Thundering Herd on top in the early going.
Well, you'll see a lot of zone defense today, I think, by Marshall. They're going to try to match up a little bit out of their zone, make Kentucky shoot from the perimeter.
And working now against the Marshall zone. Here's the shot by Delk. He's got it. And with that basket, a three-pointer, Tony Delk is now in 21st place on the all-time UK scoring list. He went past Frank Ramsey. Quick shot by Coles. Came up short. Brannan's got the rebound.
Well, that's a little bit quicker, I think, than Billy Donovan wanted them to shoot. They want to try to get good baskets in transition.
John Brown off the baseline, in and out. And Mark Pope gets it up to Tony Delk. We're going to see Derek Anderson check into the lineup in a moment for Kentucky. Antoine Walker well off the mark, and here's Vini coming the other way. 5-4, Kentucky leading here, just underway from Freedom Hall. Inside to Brown, and he's fouled by Antoine Walker.
That's good execution of their half-court offense right there, Rob. What they're trying to do is go with a 4-out, 1-in motion. They're going to play 4 players on the perimeter and keep John Brown inside on the inside.
Derek Anderson checking in, and Ron Mercer going to the Kentucky bench. As you can see that the Wildcats have won all 8 meetings between these two teams. First turnover of the ball game, so it goes back to the Wildcats. Billy Donovan has already got the jacket off, much like Dick Fick we saw last weekend. Didn't take Dick too long to get it off.
No, it didn't. I love the quote I saw on Billy Donovan. It says he's no nonsense of high intensity, and that pretty much fits the bill for him.
Underneath, perfect lob, and nicely done from Mark Pope. Marshall will inbound. We got 17 minutes and 49 seconds to go in the first half, and Kentucky right now with its biggest lead, a 7-4 advantage, tipped away by Anderson. Derek Anderson very active here as he has just come off the bench, and we'll get another look at that lob.
Well, they work on this today in shoot-around of the big man throwing the lob to the guard, and you see they executed it perfectly there.
Marshall breaks the pressure. Off to Brown for the layup. Nicely done. First two of the game for John Brown, the sophomore out of Miami, Florida. Tipped away by Williams and kicked. It'll still belong to Kentucky.
Watch Marshall on defense right now, because what they're trying to do is pressure the basketball with Jason Williams, but then the other guys are playing a zone defense, and they'll match up a little bit out of it.
Tony Delk going to Epps. Thought about it, wouldn't shoot. Down low for Anderson. Oh, what a shot!
There's that showtime we were talking about. Welcome to Louisville.
9-6 is Kentucky's lead, and the Herd throws it away. Second turnover of the ball game on the Thundering Herd. We'll take another look at that pass to Derek Anderson.
You know, it was a great shot, but how about the pass right there from Anthony Epps to Derek? And the rest is just what we talked about earlier, a little showtime.
Yeah, I got a feeling that Derek Anderson's going to have some fun here in his return to Freedom Hall tonight. As we talked about that when we came on the air. First time in about 3 years that he's played here. Delk can't get it. And it looked like Brown tipped it in the basket. Give it to Mark Pope.
Right now, I'm sorry, Rob. Right now, Marshall's got to get settled into their half-court offense. Now they're getting a little bit impatient. Now they need to pull the thing back out.
And the Thundering Herd gets it in at the other end. That was Rafiloe Luthunia, a freshman out of Annandale, Virginia, who's just checked into the ball game. He's wearing number 5. Antoine Walker couldn't score, but there's Pope again with a follow.
Well, Billy Donovan told me one of the keys for them to stay in this basketball game is they've got to rebound it. Right now, that's not happening.
Nice feed off to Brown, who scores again inside. He's got his second basket, give him 4 in the game. And here in the early going, it's a high-scoring affair. 13-10 is our score. We haven't yet played 4 minutes of this one.
So this is exactly what Billy Donovan wanted to come out and let his kids know that they can play with Marshall or Kentucky. They can play with them.
Mark Pope has already got 8 points. Ball tipped away into the hands of Walker. Almost lost it. And here's Anthony Epps now retrieving it. Delk down at the baseline, back out to Epps for a 3. First 3 of the game for Anthony Epps. Kentucky by 8, 18-10. And another stray pass stolen by Epps. Off to Delk. Yes, and he was fouled.
Well, let's look and see if Billy Donovan tries to get a timeout right now, if he's going to wait for a TV timeout. But the pressure's really hurting Marshall right now.
They come to their feet here at Freedom Hall as Kentucky busts out to a 20-10 lead. The Wildcats have doubled the score. Billy Donovan overall with a record of 22-11 now in his second season. And Tony Delk going to the line, trying to convert now the three-point play.
I tell you, we were sitting there talking at 13-10 how Kentucky, or how Marshall felt good about playing with Kentucky right now. All of a sudden we turn around a minute later and they're down 20-10.
Delk's got it. So a three-point play for Tony Delk. And give him now 6 in the game. 15 minutes, 35 seconds left to go in the half. And Kentucky leads by 11, 21-10. We'll be right back. Well, here we are just 6 days before Christmas. We'll take the opportunity to wish everyone a Merry Christmas, and we hope you'll join us next week. The next time that we are with you will be in the ECAC Holiday Festival, live from Madison Square Garden, Wednesday night, December 27th, the Wildcats against Rider. And then Friday night, the 29th, will be on live once again as Kentucky goes against either St. John's or Iona. We're looking forward to the trip back to New York. And I know that man is. Rick Pitino, as we'll get back to the Big Apple next week, Martin.
Oh, I think he's excited to get to see some family members. But look at the shooting. Both teams filling it up right now. The problem with that pressure defense is you get a couple of baskets early and you think you can run with Kentucky. Next thing you know, you look up and you're down 11.
Here's Luthunia. Got open and couldn't hit the shot. Tony Delk is there to clear it off quickly to Epps. Wildcats with an 11-point lead. Epps firing underneath to Anderson. Another reverse layup and a foul.
Well, I tell you, that is just great ball movement and a great pass by Anthony Epps. Really doing a good job of finding the opening man as Derek Anderson got free on the baseline. Look at this pass right here. Right to Derek Anderson coming free on the baseline. Nice reverse layup for the three-point attempt.
And the foul goes on Coles, his first. That was Anthony Epps with his 4th assist of the ball game. And he has been finding Derek Anderson repeatedly. Jeff Shepard now checking in, and Tony Delk getting a rest. Anderson hits the free throw, so a three-point play for Derek, and he's got 7 in the game. Kentucky with its biggest lead, 14 now, 24-10. The Herd gets it across. John Brown muscling into the lane, threw it up. No. McCarty out to Anderson. Coming back to Epps now, and here on the right side is Shepard. That's a three-pointer.
Boy, he lit it up against Marshall in their last game in Rupp Arena. And he started off, and Billy Donovan wants to get a timeout before this thing gets away from him.
Timeout Marshall. Billy Donovan wanting to talk things over with 14:45 left in the half. Kentucky leads 27-10. We'll be right back. We play just over 5 minutes. Kentucky leading Marshall 27-10, and PNC Bank is proud to recognize UK athletes who have achieved success in academics. This week, PNC would like to honor Vadim Nimad of the Wildcats men's cross-country team. Vadim is a senior in electrical engineering and is from Glenwood, Illinois. And after the timeout now, Kentucky with a 17-point lead. We resume play, and the Wildcats with a full-court pressure. Comes up to Brannon against Shepard, and he gets it into the front court.
Well, I think Billy Donovan took that timeout to try to get his troops settled down just a little bit. They're getting out of control and getting away from their game plan. They've got to get back into a half-court game.
Well, nearly a backcourt violation, but Williams was able to retrieve it. Here's Brannon, a shot from the side which won't go, and Anderson the rebound quickly down. And the lob to McCarty.
They're just beating Marshall back down the floor right now, which is really not typical of a Billy Donovan coach basketball team.
First basket for Walter McCarty. It is 29-10, a 19-point lead. Epps now with 6 assists in the game. Here's the latest one.
I'll tell you what, I know Walter McCarty got up high to get that, but that's a great pass by Anthony Epps. He already has 6 assists tonight.
Williams this time comes up, and he traveled. Shuffled his feet just as he got to the midcourt stripe, and the Marshall Thundering Herd now has turned it over 5 times. So it is quickly getting to be a rough night for Billy Donovan and company as the young coach sits back down on the bench. Billy just 30 years old.
Well, this is exactly what he didn't want to happen, was to come in here and all of a sudden let Kentucky get on a run, and it takes the confidence out of his team.
Shepard into the lane, feeds off now to Mercer. He's got it. That's a three-pointer. First 3 of the night for Ron Mercer. Vini racing it into the front court. Cut off by Shepard and fouled by Shep. Number 1 on Jeff Shepard and the second on the Wildcats as a team. Kentucky now 4 of 5 from three-point range in this ball game as UCR officials Tom Lopes, Gary Markham, and Mike Wood officiating this ball game here in Louisville tonight. Well, Lithuania lost it. Lee picked it up. Frank Lee's just checked into the Marshall lineup. Frank, of course, the freshman out of Ashland, Kentucky, Boyd County High School, Region 16 Player of the Year, but another turnover for the Thundering Herd.
Well, and just like Rick Pitino, Billy Donovan's really been impressed with the work that Frank Lee did in the summer. Lost 18 pounds over the summer, got himself in great condition.
Frank Lee wearing number 10. Cross-court pass to Shepard, back out now. Here's Anderson on the drive, coming back to McCarty for a long one. Mercer. He's got it.
Now, that's what they wanted to see Ron Mercer do all year, was go hard to the offensive glass. Rick Pitino wants to see more double-doubles out of this team.
Lee, long down court to John Brown. The turnaround, little jump hook by Brown goes. He's got his 3rd field goal, 6 points in the game. He's Marshall's leading scorer.
Boy, he's got a nice soft touch in there in the paint, doesn't he?
Wildcats ran off 21 unanswered points. 21-point run by Kentucky. Cats was 10 rebounds now in the game, 6 of the offensive variety. McCarty missed the 3, Anderson the rebound, and the putback.
Well, that's the one problem with the zone defense, is it takes away your rebounding assignments. A little bit tougher to rebound out of.
And another turnover. That's number 6 on Marshall. That one was dribbled along the sideline here, so it goes back to Kentucky.
So there's Derek Anderson right there getting the rebound, but what you didn't see was that when you're in a zone defense, it's tough to block out because you don't have an assigned man. So you have to find somebody, and Kentucky's killing them on the offensive boards right now.
Pass inside to McCarty. He's got a layup. Second field goal for the senior from Evansville, 4 in a game. Poles gets it up court to Lithuania. Chris Gray is coming to the lineup now for Marshall, wearing number 12. He's a guard out of Bethesda, Maryland. This is Lee. Three-pointer too short. Shepard long down court to McCarty. And off to Anderson.
Oh, great pass by Walter McCarty. Great unselfishness.
11 in the game now for Derek Anderson. And a whistle here as the ball comes up court, and a foul. On Derek Anderson, that is his first and the third team foul against Kentucky.
You know, we've talked all year about unselfishness with Kentucky. Look right here as Walter McCartney gives it up to Derek Anderson. This team is leading the SEC in assists, so you know they're very unselfish.
Derek Anderson now a perfect 5 for 5 from the field. We've got Mark Pope 4 for 4. Here's Brown inside, missed it. McCarty the rebound. Kentucky must be shooting a fantastic percentage. Antoine Walker's got a long 3.
Well, the problem for Billy Donovan right now, you try to play a zone to keep them from beating the inside, and they're filling it up from the three-point range.
Martin, we've got Kentucky now right up around 68% from the floor. Well, unbelievable.
That's tough.
Those were the first points of the game for Antoine. Lee passing back here to Coles. Sidney Coles fouled as he goes on the drive, and it goes on Wayne Turner. That'll be the first on Wayne Turner tonight.
So it's a shame because this is really a good Marshall basketball team. I've watched them play on tape a couple times and saw them against Kansas State, and they're a lot better basketball team than we're seeing right now, and they'll be awfully tough in that conference.
And you can see there on the bench, they're taking a look at what, either the knee or the ankle of Anthony Epps. I can't tell which. We'll try to check that out for you. Here's a steal by Delk as the pass comes in. And McCarty lost it off his feet.
That's not a good pass by Tony right there. He threw it at his feet and didn't give him a chance to catch it.
First turnover for the Wildcats. It took almost 9 minutes. 11:02 to go in the half. Kentucky 43, Marshall 12. John Brannon missing. Antoine Walker decides to slow it up, and Rick Pitino wants a 20-second timeout.
But Marshall's having a hard time right now. They started off shooting 70% to start the game, but they're really having a hard time right now trying to find the hole.
Kentucky on a 28-2 run over the last 6.5 minutes of this ball game, and the Wildcats lead it 43-12. Well, no other college basketball program in the country is as storied as the University of Kentucky's, and no one can better tell the stories than Kaywood Ledford. In his new book, Heart of Blue, the voice of the Wildcats reveals his insight of the teams that we will never forget. Order your copy today by calling 1-800-529-4500. Let's go to Dick Gabriel. Dick?
They're icing just above the knee of Anthony Epps. I don't know if he banged knees with somebody else or has a cramp, but it's above the knee. It's not directly on it, which is a good sign, Rob.
Kentucky with 13 second chance points here in the first half. 7 offensive rebounds so far. Charged the foul to the freshman Rafiloe Lithuania, his second of the ball game. Cats inbound, and here comes Tony Delk bringing it back out. Look at the field goal shooting, 68%, 17 of 25. Kentucky has hit in the first 9.5 minutes of this one.
Well, even more important than that, they're holding Marshall to 40%, where they started off shooting 71% early in the game.
Second turnover of the game for Kentucky. Lithuania now goes out of the ball game, and checking back in is John Brown, the sophomore out of Miami, Florida. Full court pressure by the Cats. Pass coming into Gray. Gets it up to Coles, and now up across to Vini. Had Brown open under the bucket, didn't see him. Stolen away. Antoine Walker's got it. That's 8 turnovers now charged to Marshall. Walter McCarty looking inside. Down low. Here's Turner back out to Mercer. Walker just wide open. Couldn't get it. And Brown goes high for the rebound.
Well, that's one of the first defensive rebounds that they've gotten all night.
Coles coming up to Brannon. Brannon, a young man who transferred from Morehead State. He's a junior out of Alexandria, Kentucky. Brown. Stolen away by Mercer. Brown's going to take it by himself.
A little showtime to the freshman, Ron Mercer.
7 in the game now off the steal. His third field goal. He's got a three-pointer to go with a couple of two-pointers. 45-12 is the score. Gray being hounded by Turner, comes back out. Coles now. Brown. Nice move down on the baseline. Hey, this fella can play. He's got 8 points.
I tell you what he does a great job of. He gets his backside on your leg so that you can't jump. A lot like Hakeem Olajuwon.
Turner now being hounded by Gray. McCarty gets it over to Mercer. Short. And the rebound coming up to Marshall as Gray brings it up. 9 minutes to go in the half, 45-14, Martin.
That was a great block out right there by Marshall. And here comes John Brown again with that nice soft touch. That's that 4-out, 1-in offense that we talked about.
Nice turnaround jump hook off the board. Give him 10 now. 45-16 the score.
Well, John Brown can flat out score. He showed us against Kansas State. He just tore them up, dunking over everybody. Got 25 points against a good K-State team.
Here's a steal by Coles. Third turnover for the Cats, and Coles gets the basket and the foul on Tony Delk.
I'm going to tell you something. I watched Sidney Coles play at Memphis. He couldn't make that move off the dribble right there. That is a direct result of individual instruction by Billy Donovan and his staff.
Now, John Pelfrey down on the Kentucky bench, and certainly the fans in Lexington and around this state will long remember what the young man from Paintsville did for Kentucky basketball. What a career.
Who would have thought that John Pelfrey, and I kid him about this all the time, but who would have thought John Pelfrey would have come in and been an honorable mention All-American at the University of Kentucky?
Sidney Coles with the free throw converts the three-pointer. Give him now 7. 45-19. Kentucky's lead still a whopping 26 points now at the 8.5-minute mark. Mercer got open, couldn't get it. Williams the rebound. Here's Vini working against Epps, who has come back into the Kentucky lineup. He's in there now with Shepard, Mark Pope in the game, Walter McCarty, and Ron Mercer. That's the Kentucky lineup. Brown forcing one up and hitting again down at the baseline. Give him 12 now.
Well, that's been the Achilles heel of this Kentucky basketball team so far in this young season, is defending the post.
We're going to see Antoine Walker check back in at the next opportunity. Brown 6 of 9 from the floor. Epps into the lane. Looks back now, trying to find somebody, and gets it to Mercer.
Marshall's back in a man-to-man defense. They're going to play a little man-to-man now. The zone was not working, so they've switched to their man.
Marshall's run off 8 straight points now, Martin. Mark Pope open. Couldn't get the 3, and Coles comes down with a rebound, so the Herd with a chance to continue its run.
That's a good job. See, they pulled the ball back up now. They're going to look to go inside to Brown.
And we'll also see Derek Anderson check back in for the Wildcats at the next opportunity. Sidney Coles firing along one and hitting. I beg your pardon, that was Vini.
That's that range we talked about. And you know what he can do? He can shoot it in your face. Defense was all up on him that time. He just shot it in his face.
The junior out of Seabrook, Maryland, with his first points. And it's an 11-0 Marshall run now. So the Herd cutting away. They're still down, though, by 21, 45-24. Cats turn it over for the 4th time. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 6:51 remaining. Kentucky leading 45-24. We'll be right back. And here in our ball game tonight, Whitaker Bank proud to donate $50 to the Kaywood Ledford Scholarship Fund for every Whitaker Bank shot. $50 will go to the Kaywood Ledford Scholarship Fund, which benefits former Kentucky athletes who have yet to complete their degrees. A good cause. Oh, what a run the Thundering Herd of Marshall has been on here over the last couple of minutes or so. After Kentucky went up by better than 30 in this game, we've seen 11 unanswered points run off by the Herd, and right now our score is 45-24.
You know how they've done it? They've done it in their half-court offense and with man-to-man defense.
And they turn it over right here. Traveling call. And it'll go right back to Kentucky. In the game right now for the Wildcats, Antoine Walker, Derek Anderson, Mark Pope, Anthony Epps, and Jeff Shepard. The Herd steals it back. This is Jason Williams. Thrown away. And he was fouled.
Well, I tell you what, you can't ever underestimate Jason Williams. When he gets the ball in the open court, he's extremely quick. But not only that, look how high he gets up on his shot. A little bit a la Jeff Shepard. Gets the foul from Anthony, kind of moving in underneath him.
Foul goes on Anthony Epps as he picks up his first of the night. And here's Jason Williams now going to the free throw line as Rick Pitino looks on. Three-point play, his first three of the game. And the run for Marshall continues. It's now 45-27.
Billy Donovan made a great coaching move when he went to man-to-man defense.
Another nice pass inside and a good move down low by Antoine Walker. Give him 5 in the ball game. 47-27. The lead is 20. Brannon across now to Vini. Vini going all the way down to the baseline, comes back out with it. Lathunia, who has come back in for the Herd. Williams going to Vini. He thought about that one, but wouldn't shoot it with Pope in front of him, and the foul goes on Mark Pope.
Well, you know what he did right then? Vini realized he had a 6'9" Mark Pope on him, and instead of shooting over him, he tried to go around him. Good play by Vini, good recognition.
And a substitution now back into the game for Marshall as John Brown will check back in. Young man from Miami who was a teammate of Allen Edwards down there at Miami Senior under Shaky Rodriguez. Lathunia going out.
Sure was. We've got Devin Davis that plays at Miami of Ohio for Herb Sendek. Another Rick Pitino former assistant was also on that basketball team.
Vini will get one more free throw now. He makes 1 of 2. Walker rebounds. Give Vini 4 points. 47-28. The lead slips down to 19 points. Shepard around the screen. He's got the 3.
Oh, that's a great set offense right there. Mark Pope played a hard pick to get Shep open.
6 in the game for Shepard, and tipped, I believe, last by Pope out of bounds. It'll belong to Marshall. Oh, the assists are piling up for Anthony Epps. He's already got 8 in the ball game.
Well, I tell you, his assist to turnover ratio this year has been outstanding. He's got 29 assists on the year with only 10 turnovers.
Pass comes into Brown. He goes right to work. He wanted the shot. Walker took it away from him. Up court it comes to Anthony Epps. 2-on-2 break. Epps a three-pointer. And Williams rebounds. Quickly to the other end. Look at Walker come out on Williams. Brown out of the corner. That's a 3.
That's his shot right there. Deep in the corner for a 3. You got to know where he and Vini are in transition.
First points of the game for John Brannon, the transfer from Morehead State. Mark Pope, that's a 2-pointer. Only 2 for Pope, but he's already got 10 in the ball game. Here's a steal. Walker in the lane is fouled. Mark Pope has not missed many shots here tonight. Only 1. Give him now 5 of 6 in the game. And Antoine Walker will be going to the free throw line. Tony Delk checks back in for Kentucky, and Jeff Shepard going to the Wildcat bench. Antoine Walker, sophomore out of Chicago. 22 points, 10 rebounds for him against Morehead State back on Saturday night. Into the game now from Marshall is Carlton King. He's a freshman out of Fairmont, West Virginia, wearing number 32. Big guy, goes 6'5", 190 pounds. Well, Walker hits both free throws. 7 in the game for Antoine. Here comes Walter McCarty back in as Walker now gets a rest.
And here comes the full court pressure again by the Wildcats.
Pope on Williams here in the backcourt. Now the pass long down court to Brown, who is underneath, and he's got that hook again.
Boy, he's got that jump hook down pat, doesn't he?
Rick Pitino is not one bit happy about it. That's 14 in the game now for Brown. He's hit 7 of 10 shots from the floor. Kentucky still with a 21-point lead, and Mark Pope is fouled inside. I believe this one goes on Brown. And number 1 on John Brown.
Brown's got his hands full inside, Rob, because he's having to play behind the post, because if you front the post for Kentucky, then they'll backdoor cut you and get the lob on you.
Derek Anderson to trigger it in. Comes into McCarty, threw it away. And Brandon Wisely will just let it go out of bounds. 5th turnover on the Cats tonight. Take another look at that long pass just a moment ago as Marshall broke the pressure and got it down to Brown, and he just does a nice job.
Well, Billy told me one of the things they're going to try to do to beat the pressure is throw over the top of it and get Brown to go one-on-one with the Kentucky guards, and that's exactly what they did.
Well, Antoine Walker didn't get much of a rest. He's already back onto the floor, and Vini drives baseline and scores.
The scouting report on Vini is that you've got to contain the dribble. Make him hold the basketball and don't let him beat you off the dribble.
6 points in the game for it now. He came in averaging almost 24 per outing. Walker turnaround, banked it in. Let's call that a Whitaker bank shot. Antoine Walker. 9 points now for Antoine. All the way, can't getting it up is Vini. Brannon, double dribble down the baseline, lost control. The 11th turnover now charged to the Thundering Herd, and Walter McCarty is right back up off the bench. Wayne Turner will also come in. Epps goes out and Pope goes out. This is what the Wildcats have done in the city of Louisville, an impressive record.
They've got great fans in this city. They love to come out and wear their blue and support Kentucky. It's almost a sea of blue in this state, in the Freedom Hall.
Delk going down the lane, draws the foul with 3 minutes and 54 seconds left on the clock here in the first half. John Brown picks up number 2. Since the 9:50 mark of the first half, Marshall has outscored the Cats by 7, 16-9. Problem is they're still down by 21.
Well, they dug such a deep hole early and didn't shoot the basketball very well. Now they started to handle the pressure a little bit better and done a better job in their half-court defense.
Tony Delk will get another free throw. He's now in 21st place on the Wildcats' all-time scoring list. He went by Frank Arendsey here tonight. Delk makes them both. We've got timeout called with 3:54 remaining in the half. Kentucky leads 58-35. And welcome back to Louisville's Freedom Hall. Rob Bromley along with Martin Newton and Dick Gabriel, and it's time now for the Pizza Hut delivery of the game. And it's Anthony Epps with the pass.
Well, this is another half-court alley-oop. You know how tough a pass that is to Walter McCarty for the slam.
That's it. Our Pizza Hut delivery of the game, and rightfully so. It is Anthony Epps delivering it, Martin, because here he is with 9 assists here, still with almost 4 minutes to go in the first half.
Well, that's what your point guard's supposed to do, and he has really done a good job delivering the basketball today.
Inbounds pass to Vini. He brings it up against Delk. Gets it away now to King. King in the ball game. Carlton King, a freshman out of Fairmont, West Virginia. Williams is in there for the Herd. Jason Williams. John Brannon. And John Brown wearing number 40. Vini against Derek Anderson. You can tell he wants to put it up, and he does. Tip is good. And see it.
Big John Brown got in there again.
Yes, he did. He's got 16. Delk quickly at the other end. Puts one in.
Well, that'll drive Billy Donovan crazy right there. Getting beat like that in transition.
10 in the game now for Tony Delk. Vini brings it up again, gets it to Brannon. King down, low to Brown, another turnaround. And Antoine Walker or McCarty lost it over the end line, so it'll still belong to the Herd.
Well, Brown really feels it today. He gets the ball in the post. He's really looking to score. The one thing we haven't seen from him is his passing ability, and he is an excellent passer from inside.
Another steal. McCarty picks it up off the floor, and a nice job by Wayne Turner down to Walker. Tony Delk tried to put it back in, couldn't quite get it to go.
Boy,
but he'll go to the free throw line.
How about the handle by Wayne Turner out there, though? He went between the legs, behind the back, and kept it away from 3 Marshall players.
So Tony Delk now, who has 10 points tonight, will go to the line and have a chance to add to that total as Kentucky right now leads by 23, 60-37. Derek Anderson checking out. And we get our first look at Alan Edwards here tonight. So he'll be out there on the floor with an old teammate, John Brown. The two played down at Miami Senior.
Shaky Rodriguez was the coach down in Miami Senior High School. Legend down in South Florida.
2 free throws for Tony Delk. He's got 12. Cats have done a good job on the boards here in this game. They have 8 offensive rebounds. Williams across to Brannon. And they'll set it up now. 2.5 minutes left to go first half. Kentucky 62, Marshall 37. Vini got open for a moment and fired, but it's off the mark. Brown fighting for it. And comes back out to Vini, tipped away right into the hands of Turner. And an easy lay-in for the freshman Wayne Turner. Williams going to Vini for another 3. This one's good.
You've got to be able to know where he's at on the floor because he can flat stick it.
His second 3 of the night. He came in here hitting 27 of 63 three-pointers. That's 43%. As the foul is called underneath at the other end.
Well, I watched him play when he was at Lamar. He was the freshman of the year in the Sun Belt Conference.
A moment ago, Wayne Turner benefiting from the steal down at the other end and getting the layup.
Well, he's really strong. When he takes it to the goal hard like that, there's not much you can do but either foul him or let it go.
That foul a moment ago went on Jason Williams. It was his first. And here's Antoine Walker now at the line. I've got Walker with 8 in the game. He'll get one more. 65-40. It's a 25-point Kentucky lead. Make it 26 now. 66-40 with 1:53 remaining. And getting down court in a hurry is King. And he scores and draws the foul. And give the Herd credit that time. They got down court in a hurry.
Well, they did, and John Brown made a nice body block on one of the Kentucky players so that he could make the layup and now try for the 3-point play.
Foul went on Walter McCarty. Number 1 on McCarty in the ball game. And here's a good look at Carlton King, who can convert the 3-point play, and he does. So for the freshman from Fairmont, West Virginia, his first 3 of the game. He's a young man who attended Hargrave Military Academy. Had to work very hard in the offseason on his offensive skills.
And Hargrave, isn't that the team that beat the Kentucky JV the other night?
Or was that Hiwassee? I can't remember.
Hiwassee.
That was Hiwassee. On Walter McCarty, his second foul. And Kentucky now with 9 team fouls here in the half with 1:35 remaining. And we'll walk down to the other end where the Herd will shoot some free throws. 2 fouls now on McCarty. Expectations are high this year for UK basketball, and there is no better way to show your support for the Cats than with the 95-96 UK Basketball Collector's Pin. For just $2, you receive this pin, $10 of coupons, and the chance to win great UK prizes. Sponsored by McAlpin's, the UK Credit Union. It's a great way to support the team. John Brannon, junior out of Alexandria, Kentucky, started his collegiate career at Morehead State. Had to sit out last year.
Reminds me a little bit of John Pelfrey. Works extremely hard and can shoot the 3.
He started some ball games for Morehead. 23 games one season, 11 the other in the 2 seasons he played there. Wayne Turner down the lane. Nice move, but he couldn't get it to go. Brannon the rebound. Up court to Vini. And he fires and hits. And one around him, but they all count.
I tell you what, he loves to shoot with somebody in his face.
That is his 3rd 3-pointer of the game now. Give him 12 on the night. And Marshall's cut it back to an 18-point game. Kentucky led this one by more than 30. Very, very early on. The Wildcats just blew open a huge lead right at the start. And away from the ball, we got a foul called on Antoine Walker.
Well, they're going to get him from clearing with his hands is what they're calling. Watch right here. Watch what Antoine does with his arms right here. Look how he pulls back with his hand, and that's a foul. You cannot put your hands and wrap around like that. Good call by the official.
Number 2 on Antoine Walker, and at the other end we've got Refilio Lithuania, who attended Hargrave Military Academy. This is a guy who grew 2.5 inches just while he was at Hargrave. He now stands 6'7", goes only 205 pounds. Born in London, England, and he can shoot it. Billy Donovan says he can post up and put it on the floor. Just needs to mature physically. Scramble for the rebound as Lithuania made one of two, and the Herd still has it. 47 seconds now to go in the half. 66-49 Kentucky.
They've got a chance to cut this thing down to another 15 points after being down almost 30 at half, or earlier in the first half.
33 now on the game clock, and the shot clock now is down to 12. Back out to Williams, 6 seconds. Brannon fires. Tip is no good, and we've got a push underneath, and it will go against the Herd. I think they've called it on Lithuania, and if so, that would be his third. No, it's on King, on Carlton King.
Well, Marshall did exactly what they wanted to do right then. They ran the shot clock down, got a good look for Brannon from a three-point line. He just didn't convert.
So it's Jeff Shepard now down at the other end, shooting free throws with only 18 seconds left to go. Shep just with a lone three-pointer here tonight. He's got the first free throw. That's something he has not done a really good job of here early in the season, hitting just 44%.
I'm really looking for Shep. You know, you mentioned it earlier to me that you're really looking for Shep to come out one night and really explode in one game.
Yeah, I'll give Jeff Shepard now 8 points in the game as I failed to mark down another three-pointer that he had. 8 in the game for Shepard, so I stand corrected there. Oh, almost a steal now with 9 seconds left. The Cats have got it, and Walker's got it done.
Well, they had a chance to go down 15. Instead, they've taken it back up to 21.
And a long shot at the buzzer just goes off the backboard. We've reached halftime here at Freedom Hall in Louisville. And the Wildcats have set a record here with, well, not quite a record. They've scored 70 in the first half, just 5 short. We've reached the break. It's Kentucky 70, Marshall 49.
University of Kentucky Wildcat Basketball is being brought to you by the Kentucky AIDS Hotline. Answers for all of Kentucky 24 hours a day toll-free. By Bud Light. If you want a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light. By the Ashland Incorporated family of companies, urging you to get involved. When parents help, just imagine how much more a child can learn. By Bank One, whatever it takes. By Purnell's Old Folks Whole Hog Country Sausage, cause it's good. By Toyota. I love what you do for me, Toyota. By Edie's Grand Ice Cream. Evidently, it's not your normal ice cream. By the Chest Pain Emergency Center at St. Joseph, the Heart Hospital. And by Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance. All-around coverage, all around Kentucky.
This WBKO Sports Special brought to you by Glass Paving, by Jet Factory Outlets, by Hobby Dye & Reed, by Tender Touch, by Cave City Chevrolet Buick Geo, and by Century 21 Brokers of Southern Kentucky.
Here tonight at Freedom Hall, it has been a high-scoring affair, to say the least, as Kentucky leads it at the break by a count of 70-49 over the thundering Herd of Marshall. Martin, the Wildcats have had a comfortable lead all the way, but this halftime lead of 21 points is not as big as it was early on in the ballgame. Kentucky at one time up by 32, 45-12, so give the Herd some credit here.
You know, the thing that's amazing, they're sitting there with almost 50 seconds left to go, down by I had a chance to cut it to about a 14-point lead. Instead, they go in at halftime down 21. They've got to control the basketball a little bit better, not turn it over near the end of the half.
Well, it's been a good half of basketball for the Wildcats, and Antoine Walker led the way with 13 points. Tony Delk chipped in with 12. The record for one half of ball for the Wildcats is 75. That was against the Georgia Bulldogs back in 1956. So Kentucky made a run at it here in the first 20 minutes and almost got there, leading here at halftime by a count of 70-49 over Marshall. Dick Gabriel will be along with you in just a moment with all our halftime activities. We'll continue in a moment here on the UK Television Network. Stay with us.
Kentucky with a comfortable halftime lead over Marshall thanks to a 21-0 run that began with 16:22 left to play in the first half. Marshall got back in it late in the first half, but of course Kentucky now with that 21-point lead and Marshall with a lot of work to do. Dick Gabriel, Rob Bromley, Martin Newton at Freedom Hall in Louisville. Glad you could be with us tonight. Kentucky's College of Business and Economics has been serving the needs of business and industry in the Commonwealth since 1926. In tonight's University Report, Carl Nathy shows us how the college is continuing to build upon its excellent reputation.
The College of Business and Economics at the University of Kentucky already is being recognized by several national publications for its quality. Now the college is poised to take another major step forward, thanks to the generosity of 1954 UK alumnus and businessman C.M. Bill Gatton. Mr. Gatton has presented the college with the largest monetary gift in university history.
It is a program gift directed toward improving the academic programs of the College of Business and Economics. I couldn't be more pleased with anything than I am with this gift from Mr. Gatton.
As of December 12th, the University of Kentucky Board of Trustees has given the college a new name. It's now the Carroll Martin Gatton College of Business and Economics.
I'm also proud of my Kentucky heritage. I grew up on a farm in western Kentucky and went to a small high school and then came to the university, and it gave me not only a lot of technical skills, but also developed self-confidence for me. There was 40-some thousand alums that gave to the Alumni Association last year, and hopefully each one of them will consider enlarging that amount, maybe doubling it or tripling it or increase it by 50%. And it doesn't matter how small it is. That's a lot more important than what I did. When you get 40-some thousand people contributing to the university, that shows a lot of interest and a lot of people have their hearts in the right place.
It's extremely important to the future of the Commonwealth of Kentucky that we do have a nationally ranked business school here. It is one of the best investments we can make to guarantee the future economic development of the Commonwealth that we all love so much.
The ever-improving Gatton College of Business and Economics at the University of Kentucky.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
On the court, my results are determined by my ability to recruit overachievers. Off the court, my results are determined the same way. To better my results off the court, I have chosen LDDS WorldCom as my long-distance carrier. Month after month, LDDS WorldComs improves my bottom line. They have proven to be the best value and the only overachievers in long distance. Save money and support the University of Kentucky. LDDS WorldCom, the only long-distance carrier endorsed by UK.
The Wildcats lead the Thundering Herd by 21 here at halftime. We'll have more from Freedom Hall in Louisville after these messages and a word from your local station. Back at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Dick Gabriel, Rob Bromley, and Martin Newton. Kentucky leading Marshall 70-49. Kentucky with 40 points in the first 8 minutes of the ball game to take an early lead. Let's take a look at some scores from around the country, around the state, and around the Southeastern Conference on the LDDS scoreboard. There you see DePaul with an early lead on Western Kentucky. In the Southeastern Conference, Georgia continuing to roll with a big lead over Central Florida. Tennessee with a big lead over Houston. That is at halftime. Elsewhere in the Southeastern Conference, Auburn with a lead on Wofford as they near the end of the first half. And perhaps an upset in the making in Baton Rouge as Centenary leading LSU by 3. Mississippi leading Southern Miss in the first half, and another upset in the making. Mississippi State trailing Northeast Louisiana. That now is a halftime score. It is a 3-point game there. Another top 25 scorer, number 20 Duke, leads Delaware 53-37. Again, our score here in Louisville, Kentucky 70, Marshall 49. Back with more in just a minute on the UK Television Network.
This WBKO Sports Special brought to you by Glass Paving, by Gent Factory Outlets, by Hobby Diane Reed, by Tender Touch, by Cave City Chevrolet Buick Geo, and by Century 21 Brokers of Southern Kentucky.
70-49, Kentucky leads Marshall, and here's how it went in the first half. We'll take a look at some of the numbers from this ball game. Kentucky shooting extremely well. Jeff Shepard, Derek Anderson, and Mark Pope, 12 out of 13 among them, but Rick Pitino and his staff cannot be happy about that 58% shooting by Marshall, the result of some soft defense on the interior. There you see the advantage in rebounds, and Kentucky with 27 points off turnovers. They doubled up the herd in that department. Kentucky also with 25 points off the bench. Now to take you through the second half, Rob Bromley and Martin Newton.
All right, Dick, thank you. As you look at the Thundering Herd huddled around Billy Donovan, and the Wildcats likewise down here at the other end huddled around Rick Pitino. Here are the high scores in the game so far. John Brown leading the way with 16 for Marshall, and Vini came on and finished up with 12 in the first half, and Antoine Walker leading the Wildcats with 13. Tony Delk has an even dozen. Kentucky to inbound to start the second half, and we're underway. It's Epps, Mercer, Pope, Antoine Walker, and Tony Delk. That's the lineup in the game for Kentucky as Delk feeds underneath and throws it away, trying to get it to Antoine Walker. Cats turn it over for the 9th time.
Well, they came out with a set play right there for Tony Delk. He did a good job curling off the screen, as you see Ron Mercer with the steal.
And Kentucky stealing it right back. Walker rebounding, putting it in. 15 in the game now for Antoine. 72-49 Kentucky.
You know, you can't help but go back to the end of the first half, though, where Marshall had a chance to get it down to 14. Now, all of a sudden, they're down 23.
And Vini travels, being hounded by Antoine Walker, well out on the floor. And very quickly now, Billy Donovan calls for a 20-second timeout, so we've got a break in the action. Want to remind you, our next telecast will be coming your way 1 week from tomorrow night. We'll be up in the Big Apple just after Christmas, Wednesday night, December 27th, as the Wildcats open play against Rider. And then on Friday night, December 29th, either St. John's or Iona will be on live from Madison Square Garden in New York. We hope you'll join us, the ECAC Holiday Festival from New York City.
Rob, I don't think Billy Donovan was wishing them Yuletide greetings in that last huddle. He was flat out giving them an earful.
Chris Gray in now for the Thundering Herd at a guard spot, and the rebound comes all the way out to Epps. Anthony goes to Ron Mercer.
Marshall's come out this second half in a man-to-man defense. They've abandoned the zone that they started the game with.
Epps going right to the lane, feeding off now to Tony Delk, and he's fouled. Starting the second half here for the Thundering Herd, Coles, Gray is in the game now, John Brown, John Brannon, and Vini, Keith Vini.
Rob, I look for Kentucky to really try to pound the basketball inside the second half, trying to get Antoine Walker and Mark Pope some easy looks.
And another turnover. So here in the first minute and 20 seconds, Martin, it's been sloppy here starting off the second half. 19 turnovers now on the Thundering Herd. The Wildcats have 10. And it goes back to Kentucky's possession.
Well, there's been a lot of turnovers, a lot of points off turnovers. Kentucky had 27 points off turnovers in the first half. So they're capitalizing when they get Marshall to turn the ball over.
Ron Mercer down the baseline, cut off, feeds it back out. Pope coming to Anthony Epps. And he's just wide open, so why not throw in a three, huh?
Oh, that's great ball movement by there. Good recognition by Mark Pope.
6 in the game now for Anthony. All his points coming with the three. And at the other end, answering back is John Brannon. His second three-pointer of the game. Give him 8 now. 75-52 with 18 minutes remaining here at Louisville's Freedom Hall. I'm Rob Bromley, along with me, Martin Newton and Dick Gabriel. Glad you're with us here just 6 days before Christmas. Inside, Mark Pope. And Pope will be called.
Looks like they're going to call him for a travel, it looks like. That's a nice post move by Mark.
No foul, but a travel here called on the Wildcats senior center.
Well, they say he changed pivot pitches. You see the steal right here by Anthony. Looked like a pretty good move to me.
Antoine Walker couldn't get it. That's the rebound. Anthony going right back inside against Brannon, but he couldn't get it. Got his rebound and finally traveled, and the crowd unhappy.
Well, Anthony called a timeout. The official was standing right in front of him, and Rick's livid right now.
Anthony Epps having trouble controlling the rebound down to the baseline. Appeared to have called a timeout, but instead they get him for a travel, so Marshall takes over, and it's now 12 turnovers on Kentucky. And Marshall, they give it to the Thundering Herd, and Rick Pitino is getting hotter and hotter.
He really is fired up. You know, we had the same play in the game against Morehead State where Antoine Walker was falling out of bounds and called timeout. Now he finally gets the call.
This time they finally give it to the Cats. 20 turnovers now on Marshall. And Mark Pope wasn't ready for the pass, and Kentucky throws it away. How about that?
Well, that's just lack of concentration. Mark was trying to run the set offense, and it looked like he was going to go in and try to screen for Tony Delk, and Ron Mercer just threw it to him even though he wasn't looking.
Now, he simply never saw that pass. Sidney Coles bringing into the front court, and back to Vini for a bomb. Mercer fighting for the rebound. It's Walker who pulls it off. Up court to Anthony Epps. Pope inside, lost the handle. Coles a behind-the-back pass. And they'll get Epps for the foul.
Well, I tell you, that was a great pass by Coles right there. And Anthony did all he could to stop the fast break and probably did a good job.
Now, I beg your pardon, they get Coles for the foul. Nice job by Anthony Epps as Coles picks up his third foul. We'll see it right here.
Well, he really did. I'm not so sure he had position right there, but he did do a good job of stopping the break, and the official gave him the charge.
Second team foul on Marshall here in the second half. Little over 17 minutes to go. Kentucky leading 75-52. Mercer, a quick turnaround, and he's got it off the baseline. Nice shot.
Well, did a good job right there, squaring his shoulders.
9 in the game for Ron Mercer, and now 10 assists for Anthony Epps.
He's close to a school record, isn't he?
Well, not far off. I believe it's 15 by Travis Ford in 1993. The Kentucky single-game assist record held by Travis Ford against Eastern Kentucky. Anthony Epps now picks up his second foul.
Billy Donovan giving the official an earful. He said, if Coach Pitino can do it, I can do it as well.
Williams triggers it into Brown. Right back to Williams and back out now to Vini. Vini attacks the lane and bowls his way into Mark Pope, and Vini is called.
Good help defense by Mark Pope right there. Vini's got to take that ball right there and pull up for the short jump shot. See, he tried to take it all the way to the hole, and Mark did a good job of coming over and hedging, but he's got to pull up and shoot that short J.
Number 2 on Keith Vini, junior out of Seabrook, Maryland. Inside, Tony Delk. And the fellow slam by Walter McCarty. 6 in the game now for McCarty. Kentucky just keeping the pressure on. 79-52 as Rick Pitino looks on. 16 minutes, 17 seconds remaining here in the ball game. And timeout on the floor. We'll be back in just a moment. Kentucky leads the Thundering Herd of Marshall 79-52. GTE is proud to support the new University of Kentucky junior varsity squad and encourages Wildcat fans to catch all the JV action. This Thursday night, the JVs will be in action up in Cincinnati's Riverfront Coliseum, taking on Cincinnati State. GTE wishes the team a lot of luck. The Kentucky JVs in action in Riverfront Coliseum on Thursday night. There's a young Wildcat fan looking on and part of this capacity crowd here at Louisville's Freedom Hall tonight. Cats lead at 79-52. Look at the second chance points, 19 for Kentucky as Brannon hits a three-pointer, his third of the game, second of the second half.
See, now Marshall's in a situation right now where they've got to start looking for that three in transition, where in the first half they started to pull it back out.
Tony Delk in with along with Mark Pope, who shoots a three-pointer and can't get it. And on the rebound, the foul is called on Brannon. That will be his first of the ball game. Pope, Epps, Delk, Brown, Mercer, and Walter McCarty. That's the Kentucky lineup. Checking in now for the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Lathunia comes back in, the freshman. Rafiloe Lathunia. And Coles will go to the bench.
No, we haven't talked much about Sidney Coles tonight.
Quick inbounds to Pope, and he's right there to score. His first field goal of the second half. Give him 12 in the game. Williams on the run to Brannon for the layup.
Well, that's what Jason Williams does so good. He breaks you down on the dribble and finds the open man.
13 in the game now for John Brannon. Pass down low and a whistle called as Mark Pope hits the deck. And a foul apparently will go on Brown.
I watched Billy Donovan over there right then, and he was telling Brown, just get out of the way. If he's backing down on you, just move out of the way.
McCarty. Pope fighting for the rebound, but it ends up in the hands of Jason Williams. So here comes the Herd in the other direction. Williams off to Keith Veeney down the baseline. Nice move.
Oh, nice left-hand scoop. He switched that over to the left because he didn't have the angle with the right hand.
He's got 14. Here's Epps driving at the other end, and the foul will be before the shot. We'll see Antoine Walker and Derek Anderson check back in here in just a moment. 15:09 now remaining. Kentucky has 81 points on the board already. The Cats had 70 at halftime. 81 to 59. Jason Williams picked up that last foul. That was his second.
Marshall playing a zone defense coming out of the out-of-bounds play.
Inside to Pope. Tried to get it to Antoine Walker down to the baseline, but he was going the wrong way.
Well, that was a good look. That's what you want. You want to get the ball into the heart of the zone, and then you want to hit the guy in the short corner. There's just a little miscommunication.
Anderson couldn't get the steal off the inbounds, and Veeney comes into front court. Brannon lost the handle. Epps to Pope for an uncontested jumper that goes, and Mark Pope is having a big scoring night. 14 now. Of course, he had 26 in the season opener against Maryland. Brannon missing, and into the hands of Pope goes the rebound, and here comes Epps. Going to see a host of substitutions for both squads here in just a moment. We got 5 players lined up at the scorer's table as Mark Pope can't get it to go, but he'll go to the free throw line.
Well, that's been the one problem John Brown has had all year is he's gotten himself in foul trouble and had to sit out of a lot of games. They've got to have him in the game, though, for them to be competitive.
Brown picks up his 4th, and here come the substitutions now as Lathunia goes out and Brown goes out. Carlton King checking back in for the Thundering Herd, and we got Coles back in the game. And the lineup now for Kentucky: Anderson, Walker, Pope, Jeff Shepard, and Wayne Turner.
There's John Pelfrey. We see the ex-UK star. You know, I'm going to kid Pelfrey a little bit here. One thing I didn't realize about John is that he had an academic award while he was at UK.
Is that right?
He had the highest GPA on campus, which we give him a hard time, but old John had a little smarts there, too.
Well, off the missed free throw, which was the first one the Wildcats have missed all night. They've got the rebound, and Pope gets a layup and a foul. No, they'll wave the basket off.
Yeah, they're going to get Marshall on the floor for pushing. A nice move by Mark Pope.
Watch him right look at it right here.
Yeah, watch him. He gets a little bump right there. There are the hands in the back. There's the bump. But watch Mark go on and finish this. Nice move for the big guy.
Now, one of the big problems is you look at Walter McCarty reporting to the scorer's table. For Mark Pope has been the free throw shooting. We pointed that out in the Moorhead game, coming in here just at 58% on the night. That's something certainly that has to weigh a little bit in his mind, but he doesn't want to think too much about it.
No, he's a good free throw shooter. Once he settled down, I think they've limited his range in his shot. He had a lot of motion in his shot, and they've really limited where he's getting the ball right back in front of his face, eliminating some of that range.
Pope will get one more. Mentioned he had 26 against Maryland, 10 points and 9 rebounds. A fine ball game against Georgia Tech. But he's only made 2 of 4 free throws here in this game this evening. To Hurd, throws it away. Long down court. Derek Anderson, and it comes off to Walker.
Oh, Derek Anderson's hurt, too. Looks like he hit his head on the back of the floor, but what a pass.
17 now in the game for Antoine Walker, and let's see if Derek Anderson is all right.
I think what he did, Rob, was he made a great touch pass, and he was out of control, and it looked like the back of his head just hit on the floor.
Now Derek doing everything he possibly could to control this pass from Mark Pope, as he has to go high for it, and then flips it to Antoine Walker, who came out of nowhere for the jam.
That's exactly what he did, though. He hit the back of his head on the fall. But what a he just knowing where Antoine was. Unbelievable pass. Hope he's all right.
Well, Derek Anderson, who has played a lot of games here on this Freedom Hall floor and was certainly looking forward to coming back here into Louisville, into his hometown tonight. He had 11 points in the first half, has not scored yet here in the second half. Well, we want to remind you to support the University of Kentucky Basketball Museum. And there's the address that you can send contributions to. Post Office Box 89, Lexington, Kentucky 40501, or you can call area code 606-225-5670. The University of Kentucky Basketball Museum, a project that now is well underway. It's been something that has been trying to get started for quite some time, and Martin, it looks as though it will become a reality here now in the not too distant future.
Well, and that's going to be a great thing for all the young people of the state of Kentucky to be able to go back and look at some of the history of Kentucky basketball.
Now Ron Mercer picks up the foul. Apparently Derek Anderson is all right, as he is now being tended to over on the Kentucky bench. They've got an ice pack on the back of his head. Gray all the way down, double teamed, gets it back out now. This is Sidney Coles. And a steal by Shepard. Shep trying to get the return pass from Walker, and Marshall gets the steal. Gray all the way underneath. Missed the layup. Brannon there, can't clean up, but he draws the foul.
Boy, they just can't get it to fall right there. Nice move by both Gray and Brannon. They just couldn't get it to drop.
Jason Williams will come back into the lineup now for Marshall. And we'll also see the return of John Brown, as he'll be playing with those 4 fouls. There's the big guy out of Miami, Florida.
Big John Brown.
We got John Brannon, who's had a good scoring night, 13 points so far. His average is 14. He'll get one more free throw.
A great story on John Brown. He was really not highly recruited in high school, and he went out to a camp out on the West Coast, and a lot of coaches saw him and really liked the potential that they saw in him, and ended up at Marshall by way of Midland Junior College.
Midland Junior College out of the state of Texas. McCarty cross-court pass to Turner, who is moving into the lane, and a nice play as Turner gets his second field goal. He's got 4 points.
See, that was a great catch by Turner.
Brannon into the lane, and throwing it up. Turner to rebound. 89-60. Kentucky leading it by 29 points. And the ball is dribbled on the baseline, so that's a turnover. Cats given up for the 16th time tonight. Marshall's turned it over 26 times.
Well, and the difference has been when Marshall has turned it over, Kentucky's managed to convert on those turnovers.
Williams down court to Vini. Vini all the way under. And he's fouled.
But he is so tough, Rob, because he can do 2 things. If you don't go out on him, he'll pull up and stick the 3 on you. But then when you do, he's quick enough and can handle it well enough that he gets around you.
Vini will step the line. He'll shoot 2.
Keith Vini, a young man who made 8 3-pointers in the Thundering Herds' loss to Butler University. Fellow has good range. He can put it on the floor, as you've seen here tonight, can create a lot of good things for this team offensively.
He knows how to score. He's one of those kids that just knows how to score. Whether it's three-point shooting or inside, he just can flat out score.
And give him now 16 points on the night. 16 for Keith Veeney. Still a long ways to go.
Sure is. Marshall's back in their zone defense, trying to protect John Brown a little bit.
And the foul goes on Williams. On Jason Williams, that'll be his third personal.
Jason Williams, young man out of West Virginia, signed with Providence College out of high school. And when Rick Barnes left to go to Clemson, Jason decided that he would like to go somewhere else. So wound up at Marshall, and he's been a real asset for Billy Donovan.
Jeff Shepard now had 8 points in the first half. Shep's another fellow who's had trouble at the free throw line here in the early season. Turner's got the jumper off the baseline. 6 now for Wayne Turner. 91-62, Kentucky on top. Coles driving all the way and laying it in.
Yeah, that's a good move by Coles. You know, Sidney Coles has got great bloodlines. His brother, Bimbo Coles, plays for the Miami Heat.
Shepard answering at the other end. Only the third field goal of the game for Shep. Turner on the steal, and he gets a layup. Oh, Wayne Turner piling up the points here in the last minute or so. He's now got 3 field goals in the second half. And a traveling call on Keith Veeney. They turn it over again. Kentucky now with 17 steals in this ball game. And Marshall has turned it over, 28 times on the night. Timeout on the floor. 11:32 left to go. There's your score. Kentucky 95, Marshall 64. Well, in case you don't have all your Christmas shopping done, here's a great Christmas idea for the young Wildcat fan on your gift list. This illustrated book takes your child on an exciting tour of a University of Kentucky game. It's a great way to introduce UK traditions to a future Wildcat fan. It's available at all Kentucky Corner outlets or order by calling 1-800-5-GO-CATS. That's 1-800-5-GO-CATS.
I don't know about you, Rob, but I don't have any of my Christmas shopping done. I got 3 little ones at home I got to take care of.
Well, I've got some done and some to go, but still, 6 days left, I guess. Here on the 19th of December.
Not too far away.
We look forward to the Christmas holiday next Monday, and then, of course, look forward to the trip to New York City next week as the Wildcats play in the ECAC Holiday Festival. Here's the bench scoring, and of course, Kentucky has dominated this statistic in just about every game so far here in the early season. 35 points for the Cats off the bench in this one.
Well, they really have. They're averaging almost 28 points a game off the bench and almost 10 rebounds. That's pretty strong productivity.
Nice job by Walter McCarty to retrieve the loose ball, battle for it, and then get underneath there and draw the foul. And that's 10 team fouls now charged to the thundering herd of Marshall.
You know, one thing that Kentucky wanted to do in this game, they didn't want to put Marshall on the free throw line a lot because they're a very good free throw shooting team, almost 77% a game. I look up here at the scoreboard, and they've only got 4 fouls in this second half, and that's exactly what Rick Pitino and his staff wanted to do.
Wildcats did not miss a free throw in the first half, but that has not been the case here in the second half, as they have already missed now 4. McCarty makes 1 of 2. 7 in the game for Walter, 96-64. Kentucky has dominated the game from the start. Pass inside to Brown, couldn't get it up as he's blocked underneath. Out of bounds to Marshall.
Now, Billy Donovan is really frustrated right now. He wanted a foul on that play right there. He thought they did a good job of getting the ball inside and then didn't get the foul on Brown.
Quick pass into King. Fight for the rebound, and a nice job by King to come up with it. Back underneath to Brown. He's double-teamed and blocked from behind by McCarty. Turner on the run with McCarty out in front.
Well, and we've got a technical foul right now on Billy Donovan on the bench.
They wave the basket off.
Well, he blew his whistle. He did. I watched the official because Billy gave him an earful all the way down, and that's a good call. He did give him a technical before the alley-oop pass.
Now you can see the official there in the background indicating technical on Donovan, so they wave that play off as Turner fed McCarty. And Antoine Walker will be at the line now to shoot the free throws.
Well, Billy was really frustrated right there. He didn't feel like he was getting any calls right there. John Brown had gone up hard twice and gotten hit. Didn't feel like he got a call, and really the technical was probably pretty good as he missed both free throws, and it kept Kentucky from getting an alley-oop dunk.
That's now 6 missed free throws here in the second half for Kentucky after the Wildcats were a perfect, 12 of 12 in the first half. Still 10:40 remaining. 96-64 Kentucky. Out of bounds, it'll belong to the Wildcats. Ron Mercer, the freshman, to trigger it in. It comes into Shepard, now to Wayne Turner, and now to Antoine Walker for a 3.
He has really improved his game, both inside and out.
Second three-pointer of the night for Antoine Walker. Frank Lee driving down the left side. Double team, comes back out to Lacuna. Pass batted away underneath. Shepard going after it in the corner. It will go to Kentucky.
Boy, look at the battles inside with John Brown and Walter McCarty. They're really going after it.
Wildcats now with 29, 28 assists in this ball game. Mercer. And it's Jason Williams to pick the rebound up off the floor. And a nice steal by Antoine Walker, but it comes right back into Williams. What a play that was. Off to King. Batted down by McCarty. Williams fires again and hits, and that's a 3.
Well, it's not exactly how you draw it up, but the end results were good.
Not at all, was it? 99-67 as we're under the 10-minute mark. Shepard tried to get it to McCarty, didn't work. Brown up near midcourt, didn't get it across yet. Now he does. Carlton King hammered inside. They charge that foul to Turner, and that'll be number 2 on Wayne Turner. McCarty will go out, Turner will go out, and so will Mercer. Anthony Epps checks back in along with Derek Anderson, so apparently he's all right, and Mark Pope returns to the Kentucky lineup. Carlton King, who attended prep school at Hargrave Military Academy. It's a fellow who can really run and jump. He won the state high jump and 110-meter high hurdles as a senior in high school. Gets one more free throw. 5 points now in the game for Carlton King. It's 99-69. Kentucky by 30.
Marshall still in that zone defense. Little point zone. Now they'll fall back into 2-3.
Anthony Epps a 3. Well, that one missed the rim completely, and Brown picks it up. Jason Williams in front court. He fires. That's good.
Well, I really like his game. I think he can do a lot of things well. Dribble, break you down on the dribble, but also shoot the 3, and Coach Pitino wants to talk about it.
20-second timeout called by Kentucky. So Rick Pitino will take just a moment here to talk things over with 8 minutes and 50 seconds left to go in the game, and the Wildcats with a most comfortable 99-72 lead. They led it at halftime, a 70-point first half. The Wildcats had 70-49 at the break. Well, we'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. 6 days away from the Christmas holiday, and next week we'll be up in New York City. Kentucky going into the ECAC Holiday Festival will have all the action of the Ryder game Wednesday night, December 27th, and then we'll be right back with you Friday night, December 29th, as the Cats take on St. John's or Iona. Live from the Garden in New York, Kentucky, in the ECAC Holiday Festival.
If I'm not mistaken, they got a big game coming up this weekend, don't they?
Yeah, don't want to forget about that one.
Yeah.
Pope inside, puts it off the board.
See, there's a situation right there. John Brown's got 4 fouls, so he has to let him score.
Lob down underneath for Brown. The turnaround. And here's Antoine Walker racing it up. Pope Missed the shot, but he draws the foul on the rebound.
That's a good job. Antoine Walker can do so many things for you. We talked about it earlier. He's got an inside game, an outside game. But, gosh, when you've got a guy 6'9", almost looks like Magic Johnson, starting your point in the middle man of your point and then find Shep, he can really do it all.
Lithuania checks back into the lineup now for the Thundering Herd. John Brown goes to the Marshall bench. Brown with 16 points in the first half. He has been shut out here in the second half.
Well, he got in foul trouble, and that really hurt him, and it just took some of his aggressiveness away.
That's the way things look at the line for Kentucky here. Quite a contrast between the first and second halves as Mark Pope misses again. Jason Williams. Oh, what a move that was.
How about that? Made body contact and still got it up off the glass.
We approach the 8-minute mark here at Freedom Hall in Louisville. A lob for Derek Anderson goes astray, and Lithuania comes up with it. 102-74. Wildcats have gone over the century mark for the first time this season. Brannon missing an easy one underneath. Shepard waiting for the rebound, and the foul will go on Brannon.
Well, I think John Brannon was a little surprised he was going to be that wide open. Couldn't decide whether he was going to dunk it or kiss it off the glass, and lost control of the ball.
Walter McCarty coming back into the Kentucky lineup, and Gray checks into the game for the Thundering Herd. Antoine Walker going to the bench, and Jason Williams will get a breather here with 7 minutes and 47 seconds left to go. Now, good to see that Derek Anderson is all right. He took that spill just a short time ago here in the second half's action, and doesn't seem any worse for wear as Jeff Shepard hits the free throw.
Derek always seems to have a smile on his face. You know he loves to play the game, but he always seems to have a smile on his face.
Enjoyable personality. 2 free throws for Shepard, and timeout called now with 7:47 remaining, and Kentucky in command with a 30-point lead. We've still got a ways to go. Stay with us. It's Kentucky 104, Marshall 74. Well, it's time now for our Kentucky Utilities power play of the game. And Martin, here it is.
Well, you've got Tony Dell taking it strong to the basket right here. He misses a shot, but nobody blocks out Ralph McCarty, and he slams it home.
Walter McCarty with our Kentucky Utilities power play of the game. And we want to point out that this is the last basketball game, last Kentucky basketball game as a bachelor for our director, Tom Bickle. How about that? He will be married Friday. We certainly wish Tom and his bride to be the very best. They'll be honeymooning next week up in New York.
Yeah, what a guy. He's honeymooning in New York, working during his honeymoon.
The very best to Tom Bickle and his bride-to-be, Marcia Bell. Still 7 minutes and 28 seconds left to go in this ball game. Kentucky with a commanding 104-74 lead. As you look at Derek Anderson, lineup on the floor for Kentucky is Epps, McCarty, Anderson, Mark Pope, and Jeff Shepard.
You see Billy Donovan, he's still up coaching right now. He realizes this is a learning experience for this young team.
Anthony Epps on the run, back to Shepard. And it comes back outside to Shep, who drives off to McCarty, underneath Anderson. And Pope gets the tip in. Boy, Mark has got 9 field goals now in this ball game. I've got him with 21 points. Anthony Epps was on the baseline. It'll still belong to the Thundering Herd of Marshall. That's the situation for that young man, John Brown, the sophomore, who played so very well and scored 16 first-half points, but he could not get on track here in the second half. Right now, on the Marshall bench with 4 personals.
Well, obviously, Rick Pitino and his staff went in at halftime and said, I don't care what you do, but shut John Brown down the second half, and they've done exactly that.
Frank Lee with a bomb. He's got it. The first points of the game for the freshman out of Ashland, Boyd County High School.
He's been really inconsistent this year, but you can see he's got a nice stroke, and he may come into own and give them a lot down the stretch run in the Southern Conference.
McCarty working underneath, and here's Anderson in the lane, but 3 seconds is called in the lane, and a turnover on Kentucky. Epps goes to the bench, and checking in is the freshman Wayne Turner out of Boston. And we'll see now if John Brown can get on track here in the final 6 minutes and 13 seconds as he checks back in for Marshall and Brannon goes out. Here he goes against Pope, lost the handle.
Yeah, that's tough to do, coming right in the game and trying to take him one-on-one like that.
3 for Tony Delk. Look at Tony go after the rebound, saves it into Anderson, off to McCarty. And the foul on Carlton King. And that was all he could do.
That was all he could do. That's a good, I mean, that's a clean hard foul right there, too. The fans thought something was happening. That was a clean hard foul.
Alan Edwards checks in for the Wildcats, and here comes the big guy, Nazr Mohammed. We'll get a look at that last save by Delk as Anderson went underneath to McCarty.
Boy, Derek Anderson's got that touch pass down, doesn't he? There's big Nazr.
Foul a moment ago was the third on Carlton King as McCarty makes the free throw. Eight in the game now for Walter. Now make it 9. Had 4 in the first half. He's got 5 in the second half. Now we'll watch the Brown-Mohammed matchup now down inside. Gray drives. Has it. Now they call a jump ball. Yes, he's tied up. Possession arrow will go to Marshall.
Well, that's good recognition by Nazr right there. He saw that he's got a point guard driving. There's no sense to leave his feet. Just hold your ground.
Gray inbounds to Lithuania with 5:39 remaining. Lithuania fires, can't get the bank shot to go, and Delk's got it off the floor for the Wildcats. 108-77. Quick pass underneath to Turner, followed by McCarty.
Good no-look pass by Tony Delk right there.
11 in the game for Walter McCarty now. Lee fakes the three-pointer, drives in, can't get the two-pointer. Lithuania rebounding and scoring.
Nazr's got to be a little bit more active on the defensive boards right now.
5 points for Lithuania. Brannon's going to come back in for Marshall. McCarty in the lane. He fires and hits.
Well, Marshall's letting people get right into the heart of the zone defense, and you can't do that or good things will happen.
Missing on the drive was Carlton King, and the foul called with 4:44 remaining. It's on Tony Delk, his third.
Brown looks a little bit tired right now. He didn't get up as high on that jump as he has in the first half. And one of the things that Billy Donovan told me earlier today was that he doesn't really have a real desire to practice. He likes it when the lights come on. He told him, he says, hey, Coach, practice and we don't mesh.
Walter McCarty going to the bench. That'll probably be it for Walter on the night. He goes out with 13 points. Ron Mercer is back in. Brown misses the free throw, and he's still scoreless here in the second half of this one. Well, it will be a big matchup in Rupp Arena Saturday afternoon as the Louisville Cardinals come calling. Kentucky and Louisville in their annual battle this year in Rupp Arena. Brown is still scoreless in the half.
You don't think that'll be a while when it doesn't matter that Louisville just got beat by Athletes in Action last night.
Now Ron Mercer going the other way, couldn't get it, and it's saved into Frank Lee, and he drives all the way for the layup. 5 in a game now for Frank Lee.
There's a little freshman showing us a little one-hand scoop right there. He's not scared.
Turner coming here on the near side to Ron Mercer, who works against Gray. Inside, Delk has it batted away, but he was fouled, and fouled hard. It'll go on Frank Lee. It'll be his first. And we'll see John Brannon check back in now for the Herd. John Brown goes out. You know, it appeared at halftime, Martin, as though he might have been somewhat bothered by cramps as they were really working on him.
Well, you're exactly right. They sure were. They were working at him. He didn't even warm up the second half. They were spending more time with his legs. And, you know, here again, that's more of a conditioning.
And as good as the free throw shooting was in the first 20 minutes, it has been every bit that bad here in the second half. Tony Delk makes 1 of 2. The Wildcats at the line are now 12 of, no, I beg your pardon, they are 21 of 29. They've missed 8 times here in the second half after being perfect in the first half.
I think sometimes we expect them to be perfect all the time, and they're showing us that they're a little human. That's a lot of lack of concentration.
That's a three-pointer for John Brannon, his 4th of the ball game. So Brannon's having a good scoring game. He's got 14 now on the night. Tony Delk on the move inside as it blocked. Lithuania up quickly to Lee. Lee all the way. Plays it in.
Oh, nice move right there. And it looked like a little offensive goaltending that they may have gotten away with. But boy, what a nice, strong move by Frank Lee.
7 points now for the freshman out of Ashland. Pass off to Nazi Muhammad. He lost the handle.
Nazi took the ball down low, made himself 5'11".
And Lee can't get the layup this time, but it's rebounded underneath by Gray, and he scores and is fouled. First points of the night for Chris Gray, the sophomore out of Bethesda, Maryland.
Well, Nazi Muhammad broke cardinal rule #1 for a big man. Never bring the ball down below your waist. He went from 6'10" to 5'11" on that play.
Wayne Turner picks up his 3rd personal. Ron Mercer leaves the lineup, and Jason Latham is checked in for the first time tonight. So we'll get a look at the freshman from Bowling Green, number 43. So as Gray makes the free throw, timeout is called with 3:10 remaining. It's been all Kentucky. Don't go away, though. We still got a ways to go. Wildcats lead at 113 to 89. Well, be sure to watch the Rick Pitino Show with Coach Pitino and me, Rob Bromley, every Saturday on your UK basketball television station. Check the local listings for the time in your area. The Rick Pitino Show. And Whitaker Bank is proud to donate $50 to the Kaywood Ledford Scholarship Fund for every Whitaker Bank shot made in this game. We've got 3 tonight. That's $150 donated tonight to the Kaywood Ledford Scholarship Fund, which benefits former Kentucky athletes who have yet to complete their degrees. Alan Edwards is in the ball game for the Wildcats, along with Tony Delk, Nazi Muhammad, Jason Latham, and Wayne Turner. Here's a steal. We've seen Frank Lee going to the other end a lot here over the last couple of minutes, and he's got another layup.
I tell you, we've seen him going to the other end, but we've also seen him finish a lot.
9 points in the game, all in the second half here for Frank Lee, and a 20-second timeout is called. We're live at Freedom Hall in Louisville, Kentucky. The Wildcats, the Kentucky Wildcats, with their annual journey here to the River City, they have led it from the start. 70 points in the first half tonight for Kentucky. It was 70 to 49 at the break. Right now, Kentucky leads it 113 to 91 with 2 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the game. Well, no college basketball program in the country is as storied as the University of Kentucky's, and no one can tell you the stories any better than Kaywood Ledford. In his new book, Heart of Blue, the voice of the Wildcats reveals his insight of the teams that we will never forget. You can order your copy today by calling 1-800-529-4500. That's 1-800-529-4500. Heart of Blue. Well, this Freedom Hall court has been good to the Wildcats down through the years, and it has certainly been good to Kentucky here tonight, Martin. Of course, you know, you think back over all the games that have been played here in Freedom Hall. The longest series was against the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame, and that Stahl game back in 1981 will always stick somewhere in my mind that Kentucky won, I think, 34 to 28.
Oh, that was probably the most boring game in the history. I don't know if that's in Kaywood's book as boring games, but God, that was a bad one. Digger Phelps came in here and just tried to slow it down, but, you know, he felt that's the only way he could beat a very talented Wildcat team.
Jason Latham, turnaround jumper won't go, and Lee gets up high for the board.
Well, I tell you what, I've been impressed with Frank Lee here in the second half. He's really shown us that he's not scared to come in here and play against the big boys.
Lithuania on the drive, has it blocked right back into his hands, and he's tied up, and the possession will go to Kentucky. 7 blocks now in the ball game for the Kentucky Wildcats. Marshall has 2. In this game tonight, the Wildcats have, what, 30 assists?
Boy, that's incredible.
30 assists in the ball game for Kentucky. 11 for Anthony Epps. He's just 4 shy of the record held by Travis Ford. Epps takes the return pass, now goes cross court to Alan Edwards, down the baseline. Latunya the rebound. Up court in a hurry, it comes to King. And the foul's called. 1:51 remaining.
There's just no easy baskets against Kentucky. They really go hard and contest every shot.
Number 1 on the freshman, Jason Latham, 6'5", 210 pounds. Went to Greenwood out of Bowling Green, Kentucky. It's kind of night it's been for Billy Donovan.
Yeah, but he'll have his team ready to play come conference time. You know, they've already beat UT Chattanooga, which is has been the powerhouse in that conference. They beat them early in the season, but it was a non-conference game. They played them. They're in different divisions.
King gets another free throw. He makes 1 of 2. 6 in the game now for the freshman out of Fairmont, West Virginia. Trying to get it inside to the freshman, Nazr Mohammed. It goes out of bounds. It will still belong to the Wildcats with 1:38 remaining. Well, a few of the fans now starting to head for the exits, and hopefully the driving here on the way home tonight will not be too bad. Tony Delk misses the 3 from the side, gets his own rebound. Tip, no, Delk. And basket interference called on Nazr Mohammed.
That's okay, though. That shows that the big fellas getting aggressive and going and attacking the rim. That's exactly what this staff wants to see him do more of.
Frank Lee putting on a move, almost lost the handle, gets it back now to King. Brannon down the baseline, went right by the freshman and got the layup.
Nazr's got to move his feet there. He can't ever give up baseline. Force the guy back middle.
113-94 as Tony Delk tries to get it inside to Nazr. The pass tipped away.
You know, it's interesting. This late in the game, you still got your 2 starting guards, Tony Delk and Anthony Epps, still in the game, getting them a little time.
Well, Nazr wants to score, doesn't he? Look at him battling there. Still can't get it in the hole. And Frank Lee's got the rebound, coming the other way in a hurry. 3-pointer for Frankie Lee. What a second half he has had. He's got a dozen points.
I tell you, Frank Lee is in a zone right now. You can just look at him on the defensive end. He's in a zone. It doesn't matter what the score is. He's in a zone.
Latunya going for the steal, and he gets his 4th foul. 46 seconds remaining. As you see Jared Prickett on the Kentucky bench, just behind Cameron Mills. Jared going now for the medical hardship, and hopefully he will have 1 more of eligibility still to be played to be used next year.
You know, this has got to kill Jared sitting over there watching from the bench. He loves to play. You could see him. He was kind of nervous bouncing around there.
Well, 2 more missed free throws. Delk's got the rebound. He puts that back in. That's Tony's first field goal of the second half. Frank Lee trying to get 2 more, can't do it. And we're down now to 33 seconds remaining. Latham inside to Mohammed, and he's fouled. 29 seconds to go.
Well, Nazr has definitely become the crowd favorite early in this Kentucky season. And if people will be patient with Nazr, and I know the coaching staff will be, this young man's got a chance to be a great UK basketball player.
6'10", 250 pounds, out of Chicago, Illinois. Had 1 point and 3 rebounds in the game against Morehead State last weekend, and he's got his first point here tonight. Had 18 points and 12 boards in the JV game last night at the Coliseum.
It's a little double action, isn't he? I tell you, he'll come back a different person next year. Sean Brown will work with him in the weight room this summer.
And the lob, Latunya can't get it. Epps down court to Alan Edwards for a jam. First 2 of the game for Alan Edwards. It's thrown away. Epps on the lob to Edwards. And the foul with 9. Well, let's take a look at the dunk that went in.
I tell you what, they get it. Alan Edwards showing us that he can get up a little bit too. Looks back on the defender, takes it up with 2 hands. Thank you.
With that foul, Carlton King is gone. He picks up his 5th. He fouls out of the ball game with a total of 6 points. But we have only 9 seconds remaining, and Alan Edwards is at the strike.
You know, even though Billy Donovan and his squad has gotten beat here, they've got a lot of positives that they can take out of this basketball game. They've scored 97 points against a very good Kentucky basketball team and got some real good play out of some of their younger players, Frank Lee and Jason Williams.
Kentucky missed 13 free throws here in the second half as Brannon lays it in with 4 seconds left. And the horn sounds as time runs out here at Louisville's Freedom Hall. It's all over. Kentucky and Marshall. The Wildcats come away a winner, 118-99. And we'll be back to wrap it up.